Hello everybody, how are you doing? So I'm doing another special topic video for you right now, okay? So this one has the interesting title, How to Overcome End Times Dramas, okay? End time dramas can range from issues with food shortages or toiletry shortages. It can deal with issues with vaccinations that are being forced maybe against your will. How do you feel about it? How does it affect you? These issues can be gatherings. I actually was going to do a curfew, but I actually forgot to do the curfew section of it. So I'm sorry about that. But we're also going to deal with like citizen spies, like what type of people may be citizen spies. That one, I don't know how effective that one might be. But anyway, I'll just go into it a little bit, okay? So all right, so that's a summary of the topics I'm gonna go through, okay? So if you'd like to hear everything, stick around and watch the rest of the video, okay? So I hope this is enlightening to you, and if anything, you have some thoughts on what's going on around you, okay? This is an energy reading, so it's not telling you specifically about vaccinations or about 5G or about food shortages, okay? It's just explaining the energy that you may be feeling in regard to these issues, okay? Okay, so now I'm sorry, I kicked the bar stool. If you like my reading style, feel free to like, subscribe, share, or comment, okay? Okay, so the first card that we have is Wolf. It's in the reverse, and it's about instincts. So it's kind of about doing the opposite of what you instinctually think you should do, okay? The first row of cards is about the food shortages that we're undergoing now. I don't know how long this will be, but this card, Wolf Instincts, it is about doing the opposite of what you instinctually would do. So here we're talking about basically when you used to live, you never really thought about the food that you needed to give thanks for. It's almost like you took for granted. Now, some people in some countries may appreciate the food that they had access to in the past because they understood the fact that there were no guarantees in life, right? But for many different countries, people in different countries, you guys may not have learned to appreciate the benefit of having readily accessible food for you to consume, okay? So this the end times dramas that we're going through are for you to draw closer to your creator, okay? And so with that being said, when you do attain food in the middle of a crisis in regard to food or toiletries, you should probably give thanks, okay? And I'm doing this reading right before Easter 2020, okay? So this is to draw us closer to our creator. The Creator wants us to repent of our sins. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, I will forgive their sins and heal their land. Okay, so this is it's kind of a predetermined situation, and all God wants to do is draw you closer to Him. So don't forget to give thanks for those things that you have. Okay, like food, water, shelter, money to pay your bills. Now, the next card here is Winter Solstice, okay? This is a card of reflection. So now I'm going to bring up another topic. So when you realize that food is not a guarantee in life, right? When you learn to give thanks for the food that you have access to, this Winter Solstice card is about a time, say for instance, when it's cold outside, you're stuck in the house, you're under quarantine, you don't know what to do. Lord, I thank you for the food you gave to me today. And guess what? The fruit has seeds in it. And while I'm under lockdown, I'm going to plant those seeds in some soil. Even if I put it in a plastic container and I cut a little hole in the plastic container and put the seeds in the dirt in the plastic container and watch it grow. Lord, I give you thanks for this time where you're teaching me skills that I need to learn for life, right? If we don't work, we don't eat. So why not put an effort to help grow your own food during this period of quarantine, okay? So you can look up videos on how to grow potatoes or how to, grow plants in a plastic container. Use this as a period of time where you can learn, okay? To make yourself and the world a better place, okay? And to help provide for your own self. So the next card here is Stone People. This card is about vigilance, okay? Now this card is about being aware that you have to fend for yourself and say for instance that you have to teach your children also at some point, like, even if it's scarcity now, it's like you're teaching your children to, I guess, help themselves. Like whatever you're learning to grow, when you're learning how to give thanks, when you're praying, when you're repenting, it's like you're teaching this stuff to your children. Okay? So it's kind of like, I think what you're doing is you're teaching your children to not take for granted the beautiful blessings that you have in your life. You're teaching them life skills like growing their own food, like praying, like being thankful. Okay? So you're learning how to not wait until an emergency happens for you to all of a sudden try to throw things together. So it's a lifestyle change, okay? So you're gonna look at life in a different way and not just take everything for granted, okay? So the next card here is the spring equinox. It is about rebirth, right? So we're talking about winter solstice, and now we're talking about the spring equinox, right? So again, this I keep picking up the feeling of growing your own food, being thankful when you see it sprout, okay? Rebirth, it's Easter time, right? This is a spiritual time of rebirth for all of humanity, because even though in a lot of our opinions this issue is not about a virus, this issue is deeper than that. We are all going through a spiritual and a personal rebirth, okay? So this is a time of delving deep within yourself and figuring out what is your purpose in life, right? Drawing you closer to your creator, asking you to repent, and it's about teaching your children to be good people, because we've been through many weeks and months and years of people being depraved and not showing love to one another. And it's almost like this quarantine is making you appreciate humans more, okay? It depends on how you look at it, because you could be in a quarantine in a situation with people who are hateful to you, okay? So for those people who are going through that, maybe perhaps you're learning new ways to deal with persecution from people who should be loving you, okay? And if you're listening to this, I hope you're not one of those people persecuting others. So that's all I'm going to say about this card, okay? So that was in regard to food shortages. I didn't finish. This is a different card. It's still about the food shortages and or commodity shortages, okay? So this is the Ten of Michael reversed, and I'm going to read it to you. I think I'm going to read it. Let me just read it. A situation has ended, so really it's flipped. A situation has just begun, and you are not free. So I'm going to read it the way it should be in reverse. So a situation has begun and you are not free. You're stuck under quarantine. There are no new opportunities for happiness now, in your opinion. Okay? It's saying you can't say put the past behind you. Stop worrying about the future, I think it's saying, okay? So I'll try to read that to you in the reverse. So I hope you understood what I said. I have one more to read to you in the reverse. And that is the Page of Michael, okay? So let me flip it to kind of read it better. A boring, a boring challenge is here, okay? You feel like you don't have what it takes to succeed. You don't know what to do with yourself. That's why I'm here helping you, like kind of get clues on what to do next, okay? So the other part of it, I don't know how relevant it is. Like it's telling you to review contracts or documents thoroughly, but because it was a reversed card, I don't know if it's telling you don't take life so seriously at the moment. I'm not sure. It's saying a boring challenge, and let's utilize new skills, as I explained to you earlier, okay? So I hope you understood that. Now everything else will be upright as far as those cards, those types of cards. Okay, so the last of those cards in regard to food is a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration, the chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder, okay? So for some people, growing your own like vegetables, like pepper seeds or something like that, like, the little fruit seeds or pepper seeds that you have access to, or potatoes or whatever, those little things, maybe perhaps that is awe-inspiring to some people. Maybe they never thought to do that, okay? So especially for your children, they may be amazed, like, wow, I can grow my own food. I'm so excited, So Also, okay, so this was about food, the first row, but I included spirituality in it. So a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration. How many people are blessed that they have a little bit of time to rest and recover because they feel like they have been a slave to the system for too long? So for that, you might be given thanks. And again, to have time to pray and draw closer to your creator and or find your own spiritual direction if you are feeling led to take a spiritual path. And if you needed a change in your career, you have an opportunity to explore that also. Okay, so this is about the beauty of change. In the midst of despair and boredom, you can still make joy and light in the middle of it. Okay, so now we have the this area here is dealing with vaccination. Okay, many people are concerned about the fact that I'm gonna say it in my way. I'm not gonna say it to appease everybody. Okay, when we have colds and flus, and some people are led to get vaccinations, right? From my religious standpoint, personally, it's wrong to put like because when they create the vaccination, they put different cells from like animals and people and live viruses, dead viruses. So to me, I see a vaccination as a contamination of the human body, and I feel like it's against the laws of my creator. Just me personally, that's how I feel. Okay, because when we were made like our immune system is a beautiful thing. That's why you feed your body good, healthy food. Okay. So I believe that the body is supposed to be able to fight off some things. If it can't fight it off, we're supposed to eat to help us to fight off whatever germs. Now, if it was something major, I don't know what to say, but based on what I'm seeing, this is not something for us to inject live viruses, dead viruses, or other animal or human parts in our body. I don't see the need for that, and I'm deeply concerned, okay? That was my little rant, okay? So now this card, be the hunter, not the hunted. What does this card mean? It means like if you did your research and you figured out what vaccinations are about, if you looked at the side effects and the benefits, and then you looked at the mortality rate on this issue, and you actually looked at the real cases of people dying from the virus and see whether or not there are pre-existing conditions. When you research all of this, right, it's basically saying, let me see. I'm just saying, like, when you're aware of all the dynamics going on here, it's kind of like you're going to stand up for your rights and say, you know what? The side effects of this vaccination, especially if there are chips involved, or okay, so in Revelation, it speaks about a mark of the beast. And if you haven't read the book of Revelation, you might want to go to it to understand what is going on. So what is going on is there's a system that is maybe trying to kind of usurp some of our personal freedoms. I don't know if you can see that going on right now, so I don't want to talk too much about that, but it has something to do with it's almost like we were born a certain way. We came into this world naked, right? We had everything we need when we came into this world. I'm going to put this card down. When we came into this world, we had everything we need. We had a brain, we had hair, we had a body, right? And so, like, when we're adding certain things to ourselves, like, is it necessary? Because really, you are born with your spirit, your soul, all of that, and you want to keep that intact. You want to keep your connection to your creator, right? And so I'm not sure the dynamics, the scientific dynamics that's going on behind this, but I do know technology has the power to change, to control, to affect, right? And so if you are born a natural human, you don't want something to usurp that connection you have to your creator. And so knowing that there are all kinds of devious schemes scientifically, and I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about the energies around it though, okay? I'm just saying be the hunter, not the hunted is explaining you need to empower yourself with information, right? And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about for the vaccination part. So I'm not sure if I explain this here enough. Let me go to the next part and see if I'm saying the same basic thing. So going beyond normal in the reverse. So let me see, I'm gonna flip it this way. Okay. going beyond, like going overboard, the opposite of going overboard is not going overboard, okay? So I'm gonna flip it back. So it's explaining this vaccination thing is it going overboard or not going overboard? Hold on. Let me think about it. It's kind of like not listening to what people tell you. Like when people, I'm gonna put the card down, in fact. When people say panic, panic, danger, danger, but then when you look around and you see that's not actually the case, like if you're paying attention, I'm talking to people who are woke and aware. If you're paying attention, people are telling you panic, panic, and you're saying, I don't see the reason I should, because if I don't walk in fear, I'm going to be protected. Some of this that we're going through is a spiritual war. And so if you walk around with a fear vibration, you're going to attract illness, danger, bad spirits. You're going to attract illness to yourself, right? And so I think this card is kind of telling you to think for yourself, okay? Don't go overboard, okay? Who's going overboard? Maybe perhaps the powers that be are going overboard and saying, we see a tiny little mouse, therefore we're going to shut down the whole world because we see something so tiny, right? Or a tiny ant. I don't know how you want to say it, but so I'm just trying to say we're not going overboard with this. How many vaccinations are there right now? Who is making money from these vaccinations, and how is it affecting people's health and well-being? Okay, so I can go even further. If you're a Facebook friend of mine, I did a little study on the Secret Covenant, and I was explaining it a little bit. So basically what I'm just trying to say, if you read the Secret Covenant, it explains that is a group of people, and their goal is to contaminate us even from the day we are born, to like cause confusion, chaos, all kinds of craziness, right? So I'm just trying to explain that the energies around us is that somebody is going way overboard. How many vaccinations have been forced on people to distract us, to prevent our brains from functioning effectively? And even if you go as far as to talk about 5G and radiation and all of this stuff that's going to affect our mental clarity, like you really got to be awake and thinking for yourself, because if you're listening to other people, they're going to lead you astray. That's kind of the basic premise of what I'm talking about for the vaccination here. Now, see, receiving, right? Because a vaccination is something you would receive, right? And when I saw this card receiving, I thought about the mark of the beast again in Revelation. It's also in the book of Daniel too. Okay, so receiving, if you take the mark of the beast, it's kind of like you lose your connection with God. It's something about it. I don't know if it changes your DNA and prevents you from being, I'm not sure because I'm not a scientist. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about what it does because I don't know, right? But this receiving, so when I looked at this card, I said, we don't really want to receive the vaccine. Some people are okay with vaccination, but a lot of the people who are watching this, who are awake and aware, they probably do not believe that vaccination is the right way to go, right? And so when I saw this, I said, let me clarify this card. So it's interesting what I got. The card was receiving, and what I got was no victory. Okay, so when you put the two together, it's explaining to you, if you're receiving this mark of the beast or this vaccination, okay, now see, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what they're doing here. I just understand that all of this stuff is blown out of proportion, okay? And so there's a reason behind it. So I'm trying to help you guys out if you're not aware. Okay, if you receive this vaccination, if the mark of the beast came in the form of the vaccination, if you receive it, you have no victory. And I don't know if that's talking about in the spiritual realm. I don't really know what it's talking about, right? So I don't know if that's the way you want to see this, but that's the way that I see it. Like I said, some people may not have a problem taking the vaccination, but until there's I don't even want to go into the scientific, like until there's a study. In my opinion, it's just a no. It's just a no, 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 right? That's just me. That's how I see it, okay? So I'm going to move on. You guys can discuss this in the comments if you would like to. I'm just explaining what I am picking up from the cards, okay? And some of it is my personal understanding of what is going on, okay? So you have to do your own research. I'm not telling you what to think, okay? So the next card in regard to vaccinations and the energy surrounding it, Mountain. This reading is for awake and awoke. I was gonna say it 2 times. For awakened individuals. This is not for a person who wants to go along with the crowd and they're okay doing things that feel wrong. Okay, this is for people who are going to fight for their rights to be free and make and protect their bodies. Right? Okay. So anyway, mountain is a card of strength. Okay. So when you see this mountain, you see how big this mountain is. You, like when silliness comes its way, it doesn't move, right? So my channel is about is dedicated to people who are awake, who are probably spiritual, okay? And so even in the midst of chaos and evil, right? We stand like this mountain and we stand up for what we believe in, and we don't let chaos and all kinds of confusion, we don't let it move us, right? So during this period of time where we don't know what is going on, you have to be strong like a mountain and you have to not be moved. If you believe what you believe, you have to just be, okay? Now, I don't know if this has more meaning. Let me think about it for a minute. I think that's a good enough explanation for that card. Okay, now you can see with these cards even more than what I'm stating. Okay, the whale card. The whale card is about a breach, right? This breach, it has to do with I think I explained it with the other card really. Okay? So what I was thinking, I'm almost wondering, this might just be a thought. Like, what if we can get a petition signed? I'm not sure because we don't know the dynamics of what's going to happen in the future. But this is a thought that I had while I was working on this reading. Like, the people who are awake, I don't know if we sign a petition and we have enough signatures, if we can get someone to hear our cause to say that we do not want to be vaccinated, because there's always been a vaccination waiver, right? And so a lot of us don't like the feeling of the rug being pulled up from under us. And so I don't know if this whale coming out of the water is about him trying to get some air. It's kind of like when all of a sudden the government puts you in a box and says you don't have access to this, you can't come out at this time. It's like you're being put in a box, but you're like, no, I need some air. I have to come out of this box, right? And so in regard to this vaccination, maybe that's how people are going to feel, okay? Like, I do not want to be put in this box. It does not align with what I believe, okay? And so the last card here is lightning. It's about power. So it's explaining like you're taking your power back for people who are awake and enlightened, right? It's like you're saying, I know what I believe. I know what's good for my body. My body is my temple, and I'm not going to go against what my instincts tell me, okay? So these are for the strong warriors of God or of Yahweh, okay? And so basically it's talking about praying, like spending your time praying, giving thanks, all of that, asking Yahweh for direction, whatever you call your creator, okay? But it's about power. Like, we live in this beautiful time. It's crazy, it's beautiful, it's dangerous all at the same time, right? Like when the lightning strikes, some people are afraid and some people are awe-inspired by its power, okay? So we might all respond in different ways. I think that's kind of what is going on. And I hope that those of us that don't believe in vaccinations, I hope that our cause is heard and that we have an out and we have a breath of fresh air from the box that's being put over us, okay? So I wonder if when we voice our concerns, we make that known to the higher ups. So now we're on a different subject now. This subject now is about the lack of congregating together. Okay, I was thinking along the lines of churches, because it almost seems like now all of a sudden we're scared of sneezing. And one more thing, it's almost like try not to sneeze in public, because now all of a sudden, I'm so sorry, but it's almost like people are scared of a sneeze. It's like, are people afraid of the air too? Like, I wonder sometimes, I really wonder. But anyway, I'm not going to say anything else, okay? So We can't walk around and be afraid of the air and afraid of the trees and afraid of the ground. We can't walk around like that because we will be foolish because we were born humans. We're supposed to walk on the earth like we have a purpose. We walk like we have power. We don't walk like cowards and be afraid of the air we breathe. We don't walk around and we're not afraid of each other, okay? That comes from the enemy because the enemy is scared of our power as human beings, okay? This card is a fire card. It's about the passion of humanity, okay? The passion of love. It's about the passion of life. Okay? And so it's almost as if humanity is rising up and saying, we will not hate each other. We're going to show love. And all of a sudden, the dark forces get upset about it and say, you're going to show love? I don't think so. I'm going to shut it down right now. No touching each other, no talking to each other, no congregating, right? And so, like, for all of the righteous people, it's almost like it's stirring up the fire within us. And we're like, oh my God, I'm going to pray more. You know, it's almost like it's a push and a pull going on here. And so it's very interesting. So how do you feel about people not being able to congregate over a sneeze, over, now I'm not saying that some people are not going through things, but I do believe, as this card was showing, some things are being over exaggerated, and a lot of this is much deeper than what we're being told. And I personally wish they would tell the truth of what is really going on so that people aren't afraid of a sneeze. So I would bring up a movie that talked about, it's almost like, I don't remember the movie. I brought it up several times, but I don't have the name of the movie. There's this movie where there's like this intelligent, futuristic, global population, right? And they can cure everything. Like if you break your bone, they can just, it's almost like magic. They magically cure everything. But for some reason, they are afraid to death of the cold, the common cold, right? And so I've seen so many times in the past few years where things get flipped upside down, and it's almost like we're playing, I'm sorry, I apologize, but it's like we're playing a fool sometimes. And I apologize if I offend you, but it's almost like the things that are small are being made big, and the things that are big are being made small. And it's as if we walk around like we are blind and we cannot see because we are afraid of things that we should not be. We mistreat people. We do everything in the opposite way. And that's something that needs to calm down a whole lot. Because when we were born on this earth, we were born with a brain, and we need to be thankful and use that brain, okay? We don't shut down the world because the air today looks a little bit dirty, or the clouds in the sky, we didn't like it. We don't just go around and say we can't live because of this reason or that reason, right? So I personally, this is my opinion, that things are being blown out of proportion. If there was a real enemy, they probably should tell us the real issue and not hide it under something else. So that's my opinion on a tangent, okay? Now about churches, the fire and passion, as I state, I think I talked about this, so I'm gonna skip it, right? Because it's about love. It's about love being, the love vibrations are helping humanity to be more humane, right? And so the forces of darkness, whatever form they may come, whether it comes in governmental form, whether it comes from people, whether it comes from principalities in the spiritual realm, the powers that be that are dark don't want us to show love. They want us to be afraid, because when we are afraid, they can attack us and cause confusion, okay? Churches are vital. They're not necessary, but they are vital to helping people congregate, to share love. And so when those congregations are not allowed to meet, and we're it may cause some type of confusion and maybe lower the vibration to a certain extent. But blessed be Yahweh that there's still a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, okay? So we still want to have a love vibration going on through humanity, okay? We don't want to be afraid, because that's the wrong vibration for us to be on, okay? So this card comes and confirms exactly what I just said. Love and compassion, okay? So a church is a place where people show love and compassion. Curfew, because I was going to do a part on curfew. So the curfew and the church kind of work together. I'm saying, as far as this reading goes, like the lack of congregating is one part of it, and the curfew. So love is being blocked in different ways. Because when people did congregate in churches, they were being healed and delivered and enlightened. with inspiration, okay? And then love, people, humanity, we show love to each other in relationships. And so when we're under curfew, maybe perhaps you can't get to your honey or whomever else that you love, because it's almost like I'm stuck over here and I can't get to you over there. And it's kind of a block, especially if you had a twin flame union and you're away from your partner. And so right now, twin flames were supposedly unifying, and just in general, people are trying to find their similar energies. So you could be finding a soulmate, okay? So love is important, as this earth was vibrating at a higher speed or a higher vibration, okay? And so I encourage you guys to still be loving and caring and to not show hatred. I don't want you guys to be afraid of each other. Like, I can't say hi to you. I have to cover my face with the mask because I'm scared of you. You're a human. Let me stay away from you. I don't think we were made to be that way. Some of us naturally were hiding away because we had different vibrations from everybody else. But I don't think that humans should be afraid of each other, because it's the wrong thing to teach our children. It's the wrong thing for us to think like, oh my gosh, you're a human. Stay away from me. You have the cooties. Just go away. That's not, that is going overboard in my, like I said, I'm not a scientist and I'm not in politics right now. I'm speaking from a regular lay person's point of view, okay? That's going overboard, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who may feel that way, okay? So I'm continuing. So here we have the forest, okay? The forest, the forest that we have, the trees that we have help produce the oxygen that we're supposed to give thanks for. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Yahweh, for the oxygen. Thank you for the trees. Thank you for this beautiful day, right? That's the mindset that we're supposed to be in at this appointed time, right? Because now we know we cannot take things for granted, okay? So I guess at some point, whenever we can congregate, we're going to appreciate and show love to one another and not be mean-spirited and not be nitpicky and not hurt each other, okay? We're not going to hurt each other anymore. Regardless of whether they try to lock us down and keep us in quarantine, we still have to show each other love, okay? So the next card here is tree, grounding. So I was talking about the trees, being grounded. What does that mean? It's kind of similar to what I was saying to you a while ago. Let me see if there's anything else I have to say. Talking about radiation and things like that. Like, let me see. Okay, so the 5G radiation and other things, like, I want to bring that up, but I'm not even sure if I'm going to bring it up right now, because more so I was talking about the curfews and the fact that we cannot congregate. The beautiful trees and just nature in general, I think want to protect us. So I think these cards are talking about nature, okay? And how we are protected naturally by the elements of nature around us, okay? Let me see something else. So I'm not really these are all kind of the same thing. The green man synergy here is kind of about us vibing with the nature around us, okay? Say for instance, if there are issues going on in the animal population, maybe they know how to respond to it naturally. Naturally, humanity has been dealing with colds and flus and other elements pretty well, I guess, to a certain degree. Like, there's some issues that are really, really big issues, and then we figure out how to deal with it. But maybe this is explaining to us, maybe look into nature a little bit more and maybe see how the animals like handle like cold. I don't know if animals catch colds, so it may not be about colds, but maybe watch the nature channel. This sounds so off the wall. Maybe watch the nature channel a little bit and figure out how do we naturally interact with our environment, okay? Like, say for instance, if you were outside and you felt like being outside was causing you an allergic reaction or something like that, you probably come inside. Some of the things are natural for us to know what to do, okay? Green man is about synergy. So normally in times past when people got sick and have colds and flus, I understand there's some people who say when you stay home, you keep us safe. But for a lot of us, if we did catch a cold or a flu or something else, we overcame it already. So a lot of us aren't really afraid, okay? So in regard to I just, maybe this is in regard to people who are law keepers or something, for them to understand that a lot of us are either having a stronger immune system or have already caught the cold or the flu or whatever germs or viruses and overcame it naturally. So a lot of us are not at a harm to each other or to ourselves, like when we interact with each other. So it'll be nice if we don't get in trouble for, I've heard of pastors getting in trouble for this reason or that reason. It hurts me to see that going on, okay? So I'm not talking about the actual health issue going on, which may be, overrated. And so maybe we're stopping the whole world for some. I know it's affecting some people, but there, I think, a lot of hidden elements to it. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just talking about us being in synergy with nature and observing how maybe the animals interact. And now, of course, we're not animals, so we don't have to interact like animals. But do the animals stop it? Like when the animals see a predator coming, they will stop what they're doing and move out of the way, right? But if one animal is sick, probably perhaps people don't interact with that animal, but everybody else doesn't stop what they're doing. It's probably that the other animal says, okay, you stay home, but everybody else go out, right? I think that might be the natural way that that's supposed to work, I think. Okay? So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, okay? So here we have the Ace of Ariel. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there is something going on though, so I don't know which I'm gonna use this tree. So if the real issue is radiation in the air and that's why they're keeping us inside, like I did notice the other day that there was some strange reaction that I was having when I was outside. Okay, so if that is the real issue going on, it'd be nice if someone explained that to us so we're not afraid of the boogeyman or whatever else. Like you're staying inside because it's dangerous to be outside because there are high levels of radiation. Then people will be like, okay, I understand, right? So it might be nice if we get the real story of what is going on so we're not getting worked up about something that may be overblown. So as I stated, there may be people having issues, but there are people having issues on a daily basis in other areas also, okay? Sometimes the little issues are being blown out of proportion and the big issues are being looked at as minor, okay, or overlooked, okay? So I'm probably talking about the energies of that needing to be balanced out. Okay, so here we're still talking about the lack of congregating and treating people like they are a danger to one another. Okay, so Ace of Ariel, what does this mean? It says it is your lucky day, new resources of money, time, or support, a change in job or a promotion. Okay, so I don't know what this means now in regard to this. Okay, so I think what it's saying is because you're under quarantine, you get a chance to explore other options. If you had to go to work and now you cannot, you can explore your spiritual path or purpose. You can explore new career let me see, aspirations of yours and get some training in it. So and your time, like you got time to rest. I already explained this already, so I'm going to move on to the next card. So the next card here is the card of peace, okay? And that's a beautiful card because we were talking about lack of congregating, right? And so we're talking about making mountains out of molehills here. And it's kind of saying peace. Peace. Stop worrying. Peace, right? Okay. Release the past. There is a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God, okay? So when people do congregate for church or something like that, like I don't know if I think we're not allowed to, but if you did see people who are not touching and they were interacting for church, so they were all, I've heard of, I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring it up, but I heard of a drive-through church service, and I'm not sure what happened, but the police were called, but the people weren't even touching each other. So I don't know, it's like, it's kind of crazy, like I don't understand. But peace, right? Peace. We're humans. We're not trying to stir up trouble. We're not trying to cause chaos, but we do want to live our life. No matter what is going on around us, we're like this mountain. We're strong. We're humans, right? We overcome. We have overcome so much throughout these years that we've been on this earth, okay? So we cannot be afraid of a little tiny ant, or, we can't be afraid and cower, okay? We got to pray. We got to believe. We have to have peace, okay? Have to have peace and love, okay? So now I'm going to change to it's the last two. So the other subject is a touchy subject, okay? So I don't even want to bring up the bad word, right? But I'm going to bring it up anyway, okay? So bear with me if you don't like what I'm saying. Someone brought up, I almost don't want to say it. Give me 1 second. Let me think about it. I'm not going to tell you what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about a comment that a well-known person made about people who appear to be sick. So say for instance, if you achoo, if that was a fake sneeze, by the way, if you see somebody sneeze, what should you do with that person, right? They're treating people like people are a danger to one another, okay? Now, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I believe that humanity has existed for a good number of years, right? And so far, we've had our ups and our downs. Sometimes there are issues that are dangerous, and sometimes there are some that are less dangerous than others, right? So I'm not talking about the medical issue. I'm talking about the concept of someone bringing up the fact that, see, I don't want to say it because to me it's boggling my mind. So I don't know how much I'm gonna let me think about it for a minute. Okay, somebody wants to take away your ability to stay in your, it's like somebody wants to invade your space and say, I think I saw you sneeze, therefore I'm going to be afraid of you and I'm going to go put you somewhere else against your will. That is absurd, right? Because once again, we cannot keep making mountains out of molehills, right? Okay? Even if it's a cloudy day outside, you still have to live, okay? We cannot be crazy and we cannot be foolish and we can't be cowards. We still have to live our life, okay? Thank you, Lord, for this day. I'm so thankful. And if there's some danger in my way, Lord, move that danger out of my way. I thank you for this day and I'm going to keep it moving, right? That's the attitude of a person who's strong like a mountain, okay? Sometimes we don't know what the future holds, but that doesn't mean we're supposed to be afraid. So the well-known person who has the idea that we're supposed to just say, I saw you sneeze, therefore you're a danger, we're going to take you and put you somewhere else. I don't think so. I don't think that's the way humanity is supposed to operate. I really don't. Because guess what? If I said to that same person, I don't like the air quality when you breathe it. It's a danger to everybody else. Let me put you away in such and such a place. That person wouldn't like that because it's kind of like we're talking a different language and it doesn't make sense, right? So I'm not going to tell you who said what or the reasons why. I'm just going to say, in the middle of all of this, okay? Focus on the light, right? In the middle of all this confusion, the light, what is the light? The light is the love vibration that we're operating under, okay? Everybody was focusing on the light. They were stopping the hate and they were being more loving. We were focusing on the light. And guess what happened? Distraction came in the form of this virus, in the form of this issue, okay? It came to distract us from focusing on the light. There's so much to give thanks for. Considering that some of us it's almost like you guys just don't get it. If you understand the secret covenant, you don't understand that there's some dark principalities that desired for us to kill one another with hatred, to hurt each other, to destroy each other. They wanted husband and wife to hate one another. They wanted everything to be upside down, and they're laughing while they're doing this to us. And then we're like the little people and we're like sitting around cowardice-ly. And I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But it's like we can't really do that. We can't fall prey to this feeling that something is over us and telling us that we can't be loving, that we can't live our life, that we have to be you know what I noticed also? I noticed that people are being distracted. So as we're in this quarantine time, there are a lot of people saying, let's be spiritual, let's be repentant. So I noticed a lot of distractions coming in, okay? And so, guys, I love you guys. I want you to focus on the light, okay? Don't let the distractions keep you from what you need to be doing, okay? So anyway, follow your own rhythm. I clarified this card. I don't know if I'm going to continue because I don't know how many minutes my video can hold, okay? So I almost think I'm kind of done with the reading. Follow your own rhythm. This is about crying over spilled milk, things that you cannot change. Like, you can't really worry about things you can't change because on a given day, some people make it past the day and some people don't. It doesn't mean we're supposed to be heartless and not care about one another, but some issues are not big enough for us to shut down all of humanity. Now, like I said, if they said there's radiation coming from the atmosphere and it's not safe to be outside, I would understand that, and I wish they would explain that more clearly. But I don't really want people to be afraid of this, this health issue that I'm not going to speak about the health issue. I'm speaking about the energies around it, because I already explained it on another video, okay? So I'm not talking about the health issue, because for some people, they are dealing with something, okay? But again, there are other health conditions that people are dealing with that have killed more people, okay? So I'm going to continue here. This it's saying no fear, fear in the reverse, no fear. Let's not be afraid, okay? We focus on the light, we focus on love, okay? Self-love, okay? You love yourself enough to stand up for what you believe in. You love yourself enough to pray when the enemy has you down. You love yourself enough to teach your children what you believe in so they can stand up for what they believe in also, okay? The void, this is about no fear again, okay? So it's kind of saying no fear twice. So I don't know if I'm gonna do I'm gonna speed it up because I don't know how much time I have on my video. So what I'm gonna talk to you about right now is citizen spies, okay? Like, say for instance, if you achoo, that's a fake sneeze, right? If you sneeze, who's gonna spy on you and tell on you or whatever else, okay? I didn't tell you the topic of those other two cards there. These two cards, I didn't tell you the topic because I don't want to bring it up because it's just bad energy, okay? So anyway, citizen spies, like I don't approve of citizen spies because whatever you do to someone else is going to be done to you. So if you turn in your brother, somebody's going to turn you in, and that's not fair, okay? I'm not afraid of a sneeze. Are you afraid of a sneeze? Okay? So anyway, possible citizen spies, okay? These are maybe the qualities of them. I hold it far. I rewrote some of these cards, but some I didn't. Twin flame, okay? Like maybe one of your love partners. I explained to you the principalities that are in charge. They want us to hate each other. So the person you're supposed to love most dearly, they want you to be like trying to kill each other. And that's not right, okay? So it's like your karmic person. It's just showing it's showing the energies of people in your area, like in your home environment, in your love space, that may betray you, okay? So just kind of be careful. I do not believe people are supposed to be turning each other in because of a sneeze, okay? I said that twice. All right. Gambler, I don't know how that's relevant, like a person who likes to take risk. So I was almost going to skip this because I'm not sure how many minutes I have left on this video. So I'm going to kind of skip down here to the last three cards, okay? I'm going to read the message. A challenge you can resolve. So I'm talking about right now is this, okay, I was still talking about like sneezes. Like, are we scared of sneezes? Yes or no? Because I'm not, okay? A challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you, okay? The next card here is a great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication, okay? I'm going kind of fast because I don't know how many minutes I have on my phone, okay? Committed romantic relationships being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter, okay? And this was in regard to, I have to shut this video down, but this was in regard to, I'm going to say it now. I cannot say it. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't say it. We cannot turn each other in for sneezes, okay? We have to love each other and be blessed and in good vibrations, okay? I love you guys. Take care and be nice to each other, okay? I'm stopping the video. Okay, bye.